Welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we're going to have a look at JULinux, and I have the head developer on the line right now, and also Ben, who also is one of the developers as well. And we're going to have a look at this. Hello, guys. How are you guys doing?
I'm taking off and having fun.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to have a look at JULinux. There's some things about this that I really like. There's a few criticisms we have as well, but we're going to go ahead and have a look. And let's go ahead and start with the website. So if you're watching this now, you can see the website. This is why I said kind of in the pre-show discussion, yeah, the website definitely does look a little bit old. And one of the challenges is there's not a lot of info. There's YouTube videos, which I'm sure are very informative. But as far as information, the installation is good. There are a lot of really good documentation, particularly when you boot it up. There is on the desktop a documentation thing that will tell you how to use it. They are telling you, and this is good, hey, we are telling you this is going to uninstall Windows, but please go ahead.
Yeah.
Get rid of Windows. Also, this is the only distribution I've yet ever seen that runs WaterFox as the primary web browser. That is awesome. We'll get into that in a bit. You can support them. There are links for PayPal, for Patreon, and for GoFundMe, and you can send a cash or check payment over as well. And so this is based on Ubuntu, and the current one is Ubuntu 18.04. It's Ubuntu Mate, specifically.
And folks, we do support
any other thoughts?
32-bit computers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was actually the guy behind the idea of the 32-bit version, Tom, and I helped contribute to that, didn't I, Justin?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna keep 32-bit when Ubuntu pretty much drops 32-bit?
Well, as long as they have a mini installer for it, we will.
Well, yeah, that's a goal anyway. In fact, I actually want to try to do an i386, but I haven't really found the time or the determination and ambition to do it yet.
Now, would you, because Ubuntu's dropping that in the next LTS, but my question for you is, any thoughts about jumping back to Debian, which is maintaining the 32-bit?
Well, the only issue I've had with jumping back to Debian is that there has been some issues with package and repositories not working between both systems, and certain packages not being available, for just pure Debian, and that was one struggle in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with Debian 10, Justin, we may have a better luck with it.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see.
I click the link, and I get when I click the download link on the page, I actually get server not found.
Oh,
so better fix that guy.
I know whose problem that is. I think.
All right.
Ooh,
so I clicked the when you go ahead and click on the link there. So of course if you use the little download above the big orange buttons. Let's see. Second one works, so the 32-bit works. The first one does. Oh, you know why? Because there's the JULinux .linuxfreedom.com. I think you need to get rid of that part on the 64-bit. So when you land on this page, you can download. There's instructions. You can download a PDF file, and then I don't like this download page. I don't think this is your page, right?
No, the Linux Freedom, we were actually using that, and they just changed their website. There was a bunch of problems, and we no longer have control over that. So I could change those links, just go straight to SourceForge or something. Yeah,
that's what I'd recommend, just because for me, I got this. I'm like, I want to download, and I could not find the download button. It's this little HTTP protocol button right here. So if you're downloading this, you want to grab this guy. So this is the latest one. There's a few older ones there as well. So just be aware if you're downloading this now to test it out. These guys need some of your feedback. Grab it. It's this little HTTP protocol is going to download that. But that's what I'd recommend is, since these are going to SourceForge anyway, right? I'd go ahead and link these directly to SourceForge on the site. That would be the best thing, I think, there. Yeah. Any other discussion while we boot up the actual virtual machine, and we'll show everyone what this looks like?
Go ahead. We have just thinking out of my brain, but one thing we might add in the future, like I said, is the DXPK and the eSync packages by default And we also plan to hopefully make a Mac-specific version, with some different icon themes and etc. Make it look more Mac-centric, and that way Mac users feel right at home in their desktop and that sort of thing. Still with the Mate base, but yeah.
Sure, which you could do without even changing it off of Mate, just change the panels around a little bit.
Yeah, because we have to put a plank dock at the bottom, and then yes, Andy, yes, Andy, we will make a gaming version of that for sure.
All right. So here on the login screen, of course, and so of course we have our floating tux there. And when we boot into this guy, it'll take just a second here to boot up. And again, this is based on Ubuntu Mate. And so the theming, now to me, the theming does look a little bit old. That might just be because I think Mate itself looks a little bit old. But like I said, one of the cool things about it is it actually has WaterFox by default as the chief web browser. All right. When you install it, the basic installation is you're going to install, it's kind of installs a minimal, and then you have this finish install JULinux, which installs all of your extras, which includes, it has media codecs, DVD codecs. I saw it has Google Chrome in there, LibreOffice, GIMP, I think. What else is in that script?
Just basically a whole bunch of things like Flash and codecs and pretty much anything that a Windows user shouldn't be expected to have to figure out how to install on their own. That's the idea.
Yeah. And of course, the only downside is it's basically a bash script, and so it runs on terminal.
Yep. Yeah. And for you gamers out there, it does have Wine included, Play on Linux, all those things.
Now, this is another, and I think those were installed first, right, by the system. If I would put those in that install script, because I am a big advocate of never installing Wine on a Linux computer unless you specifically know you want to.
Right.
Those are in the finish installer. They're not installed by default.
Those are in there. Okay, I missed. I was trying to see what all that had in it, and I did not see it was there.
It doesn't have those by the default install. Those are post install.
Okay. Now, when I first boot this up, every time I get this one here, configure directory for incoming files does not exist. If you guys are watching the video there, you'll actually be able to see that. I'm guessing it's just in my home directory. I just probably need to create the downloads. No, downloads is there. Home owner downloads. So it is giving us this error.
That must be a bug with the remaster program we use.
The browser's giving him an error?
The which one?
The browser's giving you the error?
No, every time you boot into the desktop, I get this error pops up. Right.
And what does it say? What does it say?
It says configured directory for incoming files does not exist. Please ensure the directory home/user/downloads does not exist. Now, it does appear that, of course, I'm using home/Jul, so it's not mapping. It's not mapping the username correctly to the home directory is what it looks like it's doing.
I see.
That's my guess.
That's the first time we've encountered that, but thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Test it out on a virtual machine. Maybe it's a virtual machine thing.
I don't know.
But that's been consistently popping up. So you can see the theming. It's clearly Ubuntu. When you open it up, you can kind of clearly see the Ubuntu look to it. And I've never been a big fan of this menu for a build, just because it doesn't have the modern features like a basic search function and things like that. Now, like I said, when you first install this, it installs a minimal, and you don't have to go through and select those. So the installation is actually pretty cool. And then you run this finish install, which loads all those extra codecs, which does give you Wine and Play on Linux and things like that.
Yes.
We do have the Bible guide on here. This is something a lot of people have asked me about, and I should probably do a video on it at some point in time. Now, I'm a geek. I actually study my Bible with concordances and paper Bibles and stuff. But this guy here is no Bibles installed. Let's go ahead and click that. See if I can remember how to use this application. Now, the other things, we have the control center, which of course is kind of like the control panel. So this is what they said at the beginning of the show, is that this is really, they did have renamed and put icons on the desktop that are things that a Windows user might be looking at. Here's another thing you guys might do is have something that when somebody walks through the finish install, have it remove this script from the desktop.
Yeah, that's something that's in the works.
Okay, excellent.
We will fix that as we go along.
Well, one reason actually that's a little bit dangerous is because if the user crashes in the middle, or they close it or something, and they want to start the installer again, that might be. So we might have to put that at the end of this thing and say, "Would you like to delete the icon?"
That's acceptable. That's an acceptable thing, and you don't have to delete it from the system. Just get it off the desktop for people that don't like desktops.
Yeah.
We'll have that as an optional. They can press yes or no or whatever they want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do plan to have a. Hang on. We do plan to have a whatchamacallit, a graphical interface at some point for the finish install script.
Yeah, we'd like help with that. We're definitely not know-it-alls. We want help.
Yeah, if anyone out there knows how to do all that kind of stuff and has the spare time, reach out to these guys. They could definitely use some of that help.
We'll leave our emails and our social media pages to you, Tom, to include at the end of the stream.
All right, sounds good. And so, of course, the uninstall software goes to Synaptic. Now, could you guys map this to a better installer? Like, I like Synaptic personally, but a person who's just switching has no idea what they're looking at.
I'm going to recommend that we include the Ubuntu or the GNOME Software Center, because I find that really helpful. You're right.
Well, the problem I had with some of the more graphical ones was that on slower computers, which is what I test this on to make sure it's going to work on slower computers, some of those won't even launch. Like, I've tried them and...
Try the Mint installer. That's when it's packaged with Peppermint, and it works flawlessly. And I run... my writing computer is a Lenovo S21E, which is a dual-core, just above microprocessor and 2 gigs of RAM. Thing runs flawlessly. So check out the Mint installer for that. I think that's one of the better ones anyway. That way, like, I like Synaptic, but a new user's like, oh, I'm going to install software. What am I looking at? That's the downside, but it's not otherwise not bad.
Yeah, I think that, I think we need a graphical software manager. You're right. And we could just call it, instead of Synaptic, we could put that on the desktop instead, and then
correct. Just I love the title because you're capturing that Windows audience and install and uninstall software. I just when someone boots up, they should at least be able to go in there. Well, wow, there's actually stuff in here, and there's a search bar, and I can, and I can see pictures. That's what I think a lot of new users want. Of course, there's an instructions on the desktop, which this actually mostly walks through since this walks pretty much just through the installation. So why is this still on the desktop after the installation?
Right.
What is the README?
The instructions.
So, the instructions file. I don't know. I think that's something we need.
Okay, just the first half of it's the install. Second half is the install script. Okay, yeah, I see it. I understand that. Yeah. No problems there. All right.
Yeah, it's just something there in case people need like a reminder or something like that.
Well, you can also view it in live mode. That's the other thing is if you're going to install from live mode, the instructions are there.
Yeah. I loved the fact for sure they were on the live CD. I'm just not completely sure why they stayed after the install, but I think we understand it now.
Well, the live tools we used to build the thing, well, they don't even work right anymore. We had to hack them like crazy to get them to work. But that's one of the things is whatever's on the desktop in the live version is what's on the desktop in the finished version.
Okay.
Yeah, because the live version is supposed to be a mirror clone of what's installed.
It's supposed to be.
All right, so talk to me about the software that you've installed. What is on here that is installed before and what is on here installed after the finished script. So like, obviously some of your basic Mate tools are all going to be installed by default. Play on Linux and Winetricks, he said those were installed by the finish install script.
Right.
And there's also Chromium is brought in by the finish installer. Waterfox is on the 64-bit. The 32-bit is plain Firefox because there isn't a Waterfox 32-bit build, so we had to figure those differently. Technomage, Mitchell, we don't have a mobile version right now.
Nope.
We probably won't. Be working itself in its work.
What about Audacity, Kden Live? Are those installed by the script or are those defaults?
Those are installed by the script. That would be huge. I mean, because that installs I think Kden Live installs KDE and a bunch of other requirements, and that would be huge.
Yeah, and I know LibreOffice is installed by the script.
Whoa, my phone's ringing.
Uh-oh. Just
Okay, all right. I muted you for everyone for a second there. That was loud.
Yeah.
All right. My apologies, everybody. All right. If you could hear that, you don't need your ears checked. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else
Joe,
you want me to show?
I'll talk to Justin on it.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys would like me to show or highlight in this?
Yeah. Carlton, we might consider that. It will just take some work, but we might consider that. And Andy, adding crossover. The only concern is that with that is the fact that we don't have like a universal license that we could distribute with that.
Well, the only thing I'd like to add, I guess, is that we've discovered that by using the Mate interface and installing very minimal stuff on there, it runs pretty fast on old computers, which is why this version says "Make your computer great again." Because
that was I think our best tagline yet.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right. And it is my understanding, Justin, that you are a believer in our Lord Jesus Christ. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Very good. I always support that on this channel because I am one of those as well. So.
Yeah, excellent. I'm a believer in that too, Tom. Not as heavily as most people, but I do believe in him. So,
all right.
I just want to point that out.
All right. So this is JULinux. So it is designed specifically with the idea of refreshing an older PC. I do like the fact that it's very novel in that it installs a very minimal operating system to start, which means it's a much smaller download.
Go to the script
and then you need to run an install script so that then it will pull in. Now, when we run that install script, and we can run that again, right? I can go ahead and install that again.
If you want to.
So let me just go ahead and show you guys what this does. So it is basically like a terminal-ish type thing. I really hate in Mate not being able to do that. There we are. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to get that bigger. My apologies, guys. I will not be able to get that bigger. If I remember in post-editing, I'll make this bigger. But basically, it's going to be a script. They want to confirm. Now, one of the things is that I'm not sure a new user is going to know what a installs.sh file is and to know what it does. So maybe I would probably think about changing the language in that. But that being said, when you say, yes, we agree to this, we're going to do this, and then it's going to go through and run a finish installer. So it's just basically some information. There's some legal stuff in there because, of course, legal stuff. And then you've read the licenses, sure. And then you're going to enter your password, and it's going to go ahead and download a bunch of repositories. So we'll see it's looking for Google Chrome repository to install Chrome. We have some Ubuntu things. We have Steam powered for Steam, stuff like that. Now, the first thing is Google Chrome. Do you want to have Google Chrome installed? So this is why it's okay as long as you're reading it. You can say yes or no. So if you use Netflix, Amazon Video, or play games on Facebook, you will probably need Chrome, but beware that Chrome may be tracked by Prism. Google Chrome only works on 64-bit systems. All right. LibreOffice is the next thing it asks you about. I'm just going to push no on most of these just to save our time. NVIDIA or ATI. So if you are running NVIDIA or ATI graphics cards, you can install that. And then do you want to install Steam games? So if you guys are gamers, want to install Steam, you're going to want to do that. Mozilla SeaMonkey. I didn't actually see SeaMonkey in the option the first time. But
yeah, that's a nifty little tool we use to make our webpage, our website.
nice. Yeah. I'll have to play around with that sometime. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then we get a final thank you for using it. May Jesus bless you. And you can actually say yes or no to making a donation directly on there as well.
And we encourage that for those who can donate to us because we need extra help.
Yeah.
A lot.
And then the final thing in the script is going to boot up this this page here.
Yeah, if you say no, then it congratulates you on having free software.
Yes, of course. But we do encourage people to make us a couple bucks, just whatever you can give us, because we would love it if people can do that, because we can't keep doing this for no price forever.
Correct. Yep. That is absolutely correct. So this is a new desktop to have a look at, and I encourage you guys to go and at least grab a copy of it. Yep, go ahead.
Right. I was going to say that we would like help from anyone who has web development experience to help spruce up the site a little bit for those who want to help out.
All right, we can talk too.
Yeah, Tom, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's see. So any other final thoughts or any other final things here before we close down JULinux?
I'll let Justin handle that because I think I've said pretty much all that I want to say.
The only thing I think we could say is just kind of repetition is if anybody out there wants to help us do a GUI for the terminal, if anyone wants to give us feedback on what they'd like to see included as an option, especially for new users and that sort of thing, definitely open to it. We have a mailing list on the SourceForge site. It's it's Ultimix or whatever. It's our old name, and we can discuss stuff in there. If anybody needs help, anybody needs support. And one of the great things with this, I can honestly say, once I show this to somebody, it's so intuitive, they usually don't ask for support. But they'd say, yep, I'm using it now, and that's it. So
where's the mailing list link at?
It's actually on our SourceForge page.
Okay, so I want to head to SourceForge first.
Yeah, it's on the JULinux SourceForge page.
Download.
Yeah. We need to get that updated to just use Linux, Justin.
Okay.
At some point.
I can't. They actually won't do that. SourceForge won't change that.
Okay, so I'm using this, and there's the get updates link. Is that it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I probably should just put a link to the mailing list on the website. But
yeah, we need to do that for sure.
I think it's under discussion tab, or no, mailing list. There's a mailing list tab. There it is.
Yeah, there's one there.
Yeah, I'll just make a link to that on the website. I've been updating it while I've been listening to you guys. So.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, that is JULinux, and I think what we're going to do is I'm going to jump off the Hangouts call, but if you guys want to hang out in the chat and see if there's any questions, I'm going to go through the questions in the chat.
And STS Tech said he's going to most likely wipe elementary and install this.
All right, very good.
Cool. He wants a link to get the donations, Justin.
Who does?
STS Tech in the chat.
Okay, well there should be a.
Ben, I think you are a mod, Ben. So go ahead and grab that link and post it.
Let me look for it. Give me a minute.
I'll just send it to you. I got the link right here.
Send it to me on Facebook or something.
All right.
Here, I sent it in the Google Hangout.
I'm going to hang up on the Hangouts right now, and I'm going to go back through and finish reading through the comments. So if you guys can feel free to chime in on the comments where you see appropriate. And looks like I'll be here for a little while. We have a lot of comments, so we'll kind of hang out until the end here. And Mitchell asks, I gotta have one final question: what distro would Jesus use?
That's a good question.
Wouldn't he use?
That is a good question.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Ben, and thanks, Justin, for jumping on the call and just see if there's any other feedback. So I'll be releasing. I'll release this video probably. I might release this one tomorrow at some point in time. So.
Yeah, whenever, man.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
And by the way,
Thank
I
you.
have one more thing, Tom.
Yep.
there's a great gaming distro that you might want to take a look at. It's called whatchamacallit? It's called Ubuntu Game Pack by UALinux.org. That's one you should definitely look at when you get a chance.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can look at it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. We'll see.